Hi, my name is Kinsey Boston, and I'm going to be presenting my memorial project on the Polish victims of Nazi violence. So, I'm going to start with some background information. So, the Nazis invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939, which signaled the start of World War II. They established an area called the General Government in the middle of Poland, which is where they established mostly a lot of ghettos and extermination camps, which is where they would send the Jews and other people who were taking up the living space that they wanted to take to settle their Aryan race. So the places that they evacuated those Jews and other people from was where they were wanting to settle the Aryan race. And when they invaded, they were implementing a divide and conquer technique, so they were trying to divide the different groups of people and kind of pit them against each other in order to make them a weak, susceptible, leadershipless land. And that way also some of the groups that were pitted against each other would go ahead and attack each other, which was what the Nazis wanted. And as I said, they built a lot of camps, ghettos, and death sites in Poland, and some of them were outside of Poland, but a lot of them were in Poland. And the neighbor versus neighbor violence is part of what I just touched on about how the different groups would go against each other. And an example is Jews, their neighbors would attack them and kill them. So that was an example of how the Poles were turning against each other. Here is a map of the general government, and it shows all of the ghettos well, not all of them, but it shows some of the ghettos that were established in the general government, and it's also a good depiction of where the general government is in relation to Poland and Germany. And then there's this map, which is concentration camps and extermination camps, and as you'll notice, all the extermination camps that are listed on this map are in Poland, and all the camps that are listed outside of Poland are concentration camps. So a lot of the Jews in Poland were being killed, as I said, to create that living space for the Aryans. So I'm going to be talking about the 3 victim groups that I decided to depict in my memorial. The first group is the Jews, and they were obviously the main victim group of the Holocaust, and a lot of them were deported from Poland, but those that weren't able to get out, they were thrown into ghettos and later transported to concentration camps and labor camps and extermination camps. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of them were attacked by their neighbors, and their neighbors would either kill them, attack them, or report them to the Nazis to have them arrested. And a lot of the Jewish children that were deemed desirable were kidnapped from their families and taken to the Reich in order to be Germanized for Germany, and the Germans wanted to make them into part of their Aryan race. And a lot of Jews were also sent to do forced labor, where a lot of them died. And I read that only about 45,000 Jews were left in Poland after the Holocaust, which is a very small number of them that were actually in Poland before the Holocaust. So they were definitely a main target victim group. The next group I want to talk about is the Catholics. They were punished for speaking out in their churches, in their sermons, against what the Nazis were doing and for praying for protection for the Jews. And a lot of the people that were targeted were priests, clergymen, and other leaders in the church. And about 1,773 Polish priests were sent to Dachau, which was the main place that the Catholics were sent, and a little over 800 of them were killed there. For the churches where people were arrested, they were vandalized and looted, and some of them are burnt down. And some of the Catholic prisoners would be executed before they were even sent anywhere. Like, right after they were arrested, they would just be executed. And the last group that I chose to represent in my sculpture was the communists. And the Nazis created this idea of Judeo-Bolshevism, and basically what this is that the Germans were claiming that communism was a tactic set up by the Jews in order to attack Germany and bring Germany down. So this way they made both communists and Jews seem like a big threat to the nation of Germany. And communists were among the first victims that were arrested at the beginning of the Holocaust. And Dachau was initially built for dealing with political enemies such as communists. And they were not treated very well at all because, like I said, they were big political enemies. And a lot of them were sent to do forced labor where a majority of them would die. And about 5 million Polish citizens died during World War II. They think that it was actually more than that, but that's a rough estimate of the number of Polish citizens who died during World War II. So now I'm going to talk about my monument that I built. So I chose to build 3 hands that were being pulled apart, pulled away from the Polish flag, and they're also being pulled away from each other, and I chose to do this so that I could depict the divide and conquer technique, because the 3 hands each represent a different victim group that I just talked about, and they're all being pulled away from each other and the flag, which has the swastika on it, because I wanted to represent how the Nazis took over Poland, and also to show that they thought they were above the other groups and that they treated themselves as such. So that's it for that picture. And then here I just chose to include a close-up of all 3 hands so that you can see which hand represents what. So on the left we have the communist hand, in the middle we have the Jewish hand, and on the right we have the Catholic hand. And I really chose to emphasize the Jewish hand because they were the main victim group, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the other groups didn't suffer as much as the Jews, but I just chose to emphasize that specific one, and I tried to make it skinnier than all the other hands. And I also chose to include a wound on the back of the hand to show the extreme violence that was committed against them by the Nazis. So that's that. And then I have one final picture of the other side of the monument. And as you can see, I wrote Numquam Obliviscar on the monument, which means never forget in Latin, because this chapter in history should never be forgotten, and the voices of the victims should never die out. And we need to use it as an example for the future so that something like this never happens again, even though, we just learned, it is still happening in Darfur. But it really needs to live as a good example. And also, the flag, as you can see, split the foundation of the sculpture, which is another representation of how it divided Poland and kind of broke it, for lack of a better term, during this time. So, yeah. And here are my works cited for this project. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.